Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, Shelter Insurance Agents, Grant Baker and Aurora, Sean Holman in Lockwood. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Doak Propane, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, and Great Southern Bank. And welcome to our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment. We go down to Dora High School and Dora Falcon head coach Cole Garnette. Coach Garnette, thanks so much for your time today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Coach, before we visit with our Athlete of the Week, tell us a little bit about the Falcons and the season up to this point.
Well, we've had a good season. We've had some real competitive games close. We've lost some real close games. I think we're 16-8 at the moment. We only have one Class 2 loss on the year to Alton, who got us the night. They played really well. Credit goes to them. Everybody else we've lost to has been Class 3. Got to go up to Kansas City for the inaugural 12 Courts of Christmas ordeal they had up there, where we were able to defeat Class Neosho and Class 4 Odessa. And, being one of the smallest Class 2s in the state, is certainly, even if they're not a 23-0 Class 5 team, if you're able to go beat a Class 5 and a Class 4 team when their enrollment in one grade is probably that of our entire high school enrollment, it's a big ordeal. And the girls have had a great season so far, and we hope to finish strong.
Going back that 12 Courts of Christmas, obviously a great time to get away, kind of bond as a team, and then face some folks that you probably wouldn't normally see. What advantage do you draw from that?
I took away that, we're not going to have 5 or 6 games to film on them. We don't play Neosho every single year, so they don't know us. We don't know them all that well. You're able to get some film from coaches all around the state with Huddle nowadays, so you're at least able to scout a little bit. But, when you have a player like Cassidy here, who has scored so many points in her career, every coach around here knows who they've got to guard. And, they may game plan for a week and a half to 2 weeks. When you're able to go play someone that doesn't know a whole lot about you, it takes a little bit of pressure off, because they're coming into it just kind of like you are. They're trying to play their best without necessarily over-planning on the part of, you play back-to-back days. You've just got to go play well. You can't prep for 3 or 4 days for one team and then 3 or 4 days for the next team. But I think the girls really enjoyed the trip. We had a whole lot of fun. They got to go Christmas shopping up there in Kansas City and, see a bunch of lights and stuff. So it was a good team trip for sure.
And Coach, and again, we're visiting with Dora Falcon head coach Cole Garnette. Tell just a little bit about your background. How long have you been at Dora? Where'd you go to high school, college, and how'd you end up there?
Well, I went to high school in Valley Springs, Arkansas, just south of the Missouri border a little ways. Ended up going to college at Arkansas State in Jonesboro. And when I graduated from there, I got on at Neelyville, which was just across the Missouri border again. Me and my wife went from there. We went up to Dixon for a few years, up by Rolla. We had our first kid, and from there to any kind of family where we were living, it was about a 6-hour drive. So my wife looked at me and said, "Hey, I want to be closer." Okay. We started looking for jobs. She got on at West Plains, and so we moved down here. I actually went to Gainesville for a year, and after that year, driving from West Plains to Gainesville on 160 every day, it was just a little much when you have a young kid at home. So Dora had a job come open, and they're about 30 minutes closer than Gainesville. I think it takes me 20 minutes to get to work every day. So I applied, got on here. This is my actual 3rd year at Dora, but it's only my 2nd year as basketball coach. The first year I did softball only. I was assistant softball coach, and so, when the girls' basketball job came open and they asked me if I wanted it, I was like, man, that's perfect. I already know all the girls because of softball. I can just step right in. Hopefully they know me well enough to where our relationship's already kind of there from softball, and it'll be a nice transition.
Now, Cassidy Hambelton alongside our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, 49 points the other night, including apparently a buzzer beater and also her 2,500th point in that game. Tell us a little bit about Cassidy and what makes her special.
Well, she is a luxury to have for sure on the playing floor. Players that score 2,500 points in their career only come around once in a lifetime at certain schools. And for coaches, I mean, I don't know many coaches that have multiple 2,500 point scores in their careers either. With her on the floor, we're almost unpressable because we can get her the ball, and being our point guard, she's a good enough ball handler. We can usually break the press. So that takes away a lot of what some teams are able to do that make them so successful. And then offensively, there was a game here a while back where we were struggling. We weren't playing well. She'd got and one and got into the free throw line. And the next possession, another one of her teammates were shooting free throws. And I called her over to me and said, "Hey, we need you right now. Put us on your back. Let's get in a rhythm. Carry us for a little bit until we can kind of get into it." And she did. And when you've got a player that can do that, like, hey, we need a bucket right now. Let's run a play. Let's run a set. Get to the lane. Get some free throws. When you've got a player that can do that for you, it's a game changer, because there's a lot of teams, that you might have a lot of shooters, you might have some girls that can score, but do you have a playmaker? And that's what I tell all the coaches I talk to about her. She is a playmaker. If you've got someone open, she's going to find them. If you need a bucket, she's going to go get you one. She can get to the free throw line. I think right now, I don't have it in front of me, but I think she's averaging 7 assists per game. And so, not only is she averaging 30 points per game, she's averaging 7 assists per game and getting her teammates open. And we've worked for, 2 years now. The more you get your teammates open, the more you're going to be open. And I think that's paying off big time this year with her numbers.
Well, Cassidy, welcome to the show.
Hi.
And on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations being named Athlete of the Week. Let's go back first to talk about these games. One is 49 points. Is that a personal career high for you?
No, actually, 55 is my career high, and then we went into overtime and ended up losing that game by 6. But yeah, so that's not my high. But
All right. Well, you win this one. You win it at the buzzer. You score your 2,500th point. Going into the game, did you know where you were points wise in your career? Did you know that was attainable?
I knew it was attainable. I wasn't sure exactly how many I needed, but I wasn't really worried about that, because that game we started out really bad. Actually, I remember looking at the scoreboard and it was 40-19 in the first half, and I was like, "How did it get like that?" But we were only down 17 at halftime, and we ended up coming back in just the last minutes of the game. So yeah.
So you're down 21. You cut it to 17 at half. Tell us what happened in that second half. And were the bulk of your points in the second half?
Most of them were, I think.
I was at 16.
I think she was at 16 or 17 at halftime.
Yeah.
And so in the second half, we changed our defense a little bit. We tried to do some different stuff. Yeah, most of them were in the second half. She definitely, I mean, she would have put up 30 or so in the second half. It looks like around 30 in the second half. But we changed our defense. We had a nice talk at halftime. And, I told them it's not going to be easy. But, there's no such thing as a 20-point shot. 2 points here, 2 points there. They actually cut it to 10 to start the fourth quarter. And I remember looking at the scoreboard one time. We were down 7 points with 1:27 left. And I thought, we've got to figure something out. And, when the defense has to pay so much attention to her, we had a couple other girls make some free throws and I think we made 2 layups from assists from her in that last minute and a half. And, when you're running 2 or 3 girls at her, that opens someone up somewhere, and she's really good at finding them.
All right. Well, Cassidy, take us through point number 2,500. What point of the game did that occur?
I'm pretty sure it happened in the third quarter. Yeah, and in the game, Coach Garnette said he was gonna stop the game and recognize it, but we were kind of starting to actually play good at that point, so we wanted to stay in a rhythm. So I wasn't even worried about it then. I was just worried about the game. I think it was a good idea that he didn't call timeout at that time.
Yeah, probably a good idea to put that one in your pocket. Take us through that last minute and a half. and then threw out into that last shot to win it?
Well, I honestly, I wasn't even sure that we were that close. I look up at the scoreboard and it's 60-64, and I was like, okay, we can do this. Like, we're right in it. And I think, I don't know, I'm not sure how we tied it up, but we were tied and we had the ball with like 20 seconds and he called timeout. And we were trying to run a play and it didn't work. And so we were kind of just passing around up top and it was like 6 seconds. So I just drove in there and shot a little floater and I hoped it went in.
And it went in.
Yes.
Very good. Well, take us back. You're a senior this year. Take us back to your freshman year. How has your game kind of changed since you were a freshman? Is it more attacking the basket or from the outside or getting to the free throw? And how'd your game changed?
When I was freshman, sophomore, I tended to settle more for threes than attacking. And I think I got a lot better last year and this year at just getting to the basket. And I think that's what I'm doing really well right now. And just also creating open shots for my teammates as well.
If you could go back over all the games in your career, is there one game you'd like to go back and play again? And maybe it's the one you had 49 points in, or maybe it's a game that got away from you.
I would definitely want to go back to sectionals last year because we were in that game and I actually ended up spraining my ankle in the second quarter and I had to go out for like, I don't know, 2 minutes and they ended up making a little run and we just never got back in it. So that I think about that like every day. Actually, I want to go back to that game.
All right. What games on your schedule coming up and you're going into you may have seeded for districts, or it's probably right around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, we seeded. We got the 1 seed.
So you're the 1 seed. Who maybe Seymour or Kabul? Who's the 2 seed?
Kabul is the 2.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to see them this year?
We played and we played them in the Mountain Grove tournament and we beat them twice.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, Cassidy, again, on behalf of Chevy's of the Ozarks, congratulations on 49 points is big in a game, and of course the 2,500 career points is outstanding. What do you have planned for next year, if any plans?
I do plan on continuing my basketball career somewhere. I haven't made a decision yet, so I'm not 100% sure where I'm going, but I will know pretty soon.
All right. Any particular area of study?
I'm not exactly sure. Probably somewhere in education or sports management, something like that.
Very good. Well, again, Cassidy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach Garnette, thanks so much for setting this up, and hopefully as we get into districts, we'll get to do this again and kind of talk about the district run for the Dora Falcons.
I hope we get to talk again. Thanks for having us.
Hey, you bet. Dora Falcon head coach Cole Garnette and Chevy of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, Cassidy Hambelton, here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be right here at Missouri Sports Network tomorrow.